This news will probably leave Angel Reese's mom in shambles at this point. Of course, she's upset.
You guys haven't seen much, but if you guys did not see.
Today, we're talking about a seismic event in women's basketball that's got everyone from casual fans to cable executives buzzing like they just chugged a triple espresso. Buckle up, because we're unpacking how Caitlin Clark turned a WNBA preseason exhibition game into a ratings juggernaut, pulling in 3 million viewers, while Angel Reese, bless her heart, struggled to get her own group chat to tune in. This isn't just basketball, folks. This is Clark Mania, and it's rewriting the script for women's sports. Let's break it down. With a little context, a lot of numbers, and just the right amount of spice. The exhibition game that stole the show picture.
Right here, the Fever Brazil game came to 1.3 million viewers. 1.3 million viewers to an exhibition game, not even a preseason game.
It's early May 2025, and the WNBA preseason is supposed to be a sleepy warm-up, like stretching before a yoga class nobody signed up for. Teams are shaking off rust, rookies are finding their footing, and fans are mostly just trying to remember who got traded where. But then, Caitlin Clark steps onto the court for the Indiana Fever in an exhibition game against the Brazilian national team. And suddenly, it's not a preseason game anymore. It's a cultural moment. This wasn't even a proper preseason game, mind you. It was an exhibition, a glorified scrimmage, the kind of game where starters check out early and the score doesn't matter. Except, apparently it did. The game, played at Clark's alma mater in Iowa, drew a jaw-dropping 1.3 million viewers on ESPN. Let that sink in. 1.3 million. For a game that wasn't even close, the Fever won by 60 points, and Clark and her teammate Kayla McBride checked out at the end of the third quarter. The Brazilian team, as classy and enthusiastic as they were, didn't stand a chance, but they didn't care. They were just thrilled to share the court with a player who's turning women's basketball into must-see TV. To put this in perspective, 3 million viewers for a WNBA exhibition game isn't just impressive, it's historic. It outdrew all but 2 NBA preseason games since 2010. It beat Game 1 of the 2024 WNBA Finals, which pulled in 1.1 million viewers. It even outrated NHL playoff games airing on the same day. Yes, you read that right. A WNBA preseason game smoked postseason hockey in the ratings. If you told me a year ago that a women's basketball exhibition would outdraw playoff hockey, I'd have asked what you were smoking. But here we are, and Caitlin Clark is the one lighting the match. Caitlin Clark.
An exhibition game. An exhibition game. An exhibition game. They came.
The Super Bowl of ponytails. Let's talk about why this is happening. Caitlin Clark isn't just a basketball player. She's a phenomenon, a one-woman hype machine who's turning the WNBA into the Super Bowl with a ponytail. She's not out here stirring up drama or starting Twitter feuds. She's not throwing TikTok tantrums or begging for attention. She's just hooping, launching logo threes, dropping dimes, and jogging back down the court like it's just another Tuesday. And America can't get enough. Clark's game is electric. She pulls up from ranges that would make Steph Curry blush, hits shots you wouldn't even attempt in NBA 2K, and does it all with a quiet confidence that screams, "I'm here to ball, not to bicker." She's got that rare mix of skill, charisma, and relatability that draws in everyone. Moms, dads, grandparents, toddlers, and even your cousin who only watches sports during the Olympics.
To an exhibition game. Or say they came to watch an exhibition game. That was a 60-point game, and Caitlin Clark checked out at the end of the third quarter. And it averaged 1.3 million viewers, which...
She's LeBron James with a jump shot, Michael Jordan with a book club fan base, and Steph Curry with a cleaner ponytail. And the best part? She's doing it all in the preseason, when most players are still figuring out which end of the court is theirs. The numbers back it up. Clark's preseason debut didn't just pull in 1.3 million viewers. It peaked at 1.6 million, a 13% increase over the WNBA's regular season average from the previous year. According to Sports Media Watch, this game was the 34th WNBA telecast in the past year to hit a 7-figure audience, and Clark was involved in 26 of them. That's not a stat. That's a legacy. She's not just breaking records, she's taking a sledgehammer to them, planting a flag, and keeping it moving. Angel Reese. The struggle for spotlight now. Let's pivot to Angel Reese, because no story about Clark's meteoric rise is complete without acknowledging the contrast. Reese, a talented player in her own right, has been fighting tooth and nail to carve out her own space in the WNBA spotlight. But while Clark is out here turning exhibition games into primetime events, Reese's games are struggling to get noticed. If Clark's games are rock concerts, Reese's are like free flute recitals at a food court. Technically happening, but nobody's sticking around to clap. To be fair, Reese has a presence. She's got confidence, swagger, and a knack for making headlines, whether it's through her play, her fashion, or her social media clapbacks. But the numbers don't lie, and right now, they're screaming that Reese is playing second fiddle in a one-woman show. While Clark's game was airing in HD across America like a block beat,
we weren't the only ones waiting around, hovering around our campfire, staying warm through the winter season. Man, is Caitlin Clark is fever basketball going to return?
Clark's appeal is universal. She's the kid from Iowa who grew up shooting hoops in her driveway, dreaming of the big stage. She's the college star who broke records at Iowa, drawing millions to women's college basketball. And now, she's the WNBA rookie who's turning sleepy preseason games into appointment television. Her game is flashy but not forced, confident but not cocky. She's the kind of player you can't take your eyes off, even if you don't know what a pick and roll is. Reese, by contrast, has leaned into a different narrative, one of defiance, hustle, and unapologetic attitude. It's a persona that works for some fans, particularly those who vibe with her underdog energy and bold fashion choices. But it's also a tougher sell in a league where skill and results still reign supreme. Reese's game is gritty. She dominates the paint, fights for rebounds, and isn't afraid to mix it up. But her shooting efficiency leaves something to be desired, and her off-court antics sometimes overshadow her on-court contributions. While Clark is out here launching threes like she's trying to hit a satellite, Reese is missing free throws like she's allergic to the rim. There's also the media factor. Clark's every move is covered like a presidential campaign. Every three-pointer, every post-game quote, every jersey signed for a fan.
We weren't the only ones chomping at the bits, waiting to watch Caitlin Clark play. It seems like the rest of the country was waiting in suspense.
Reese, meanwhile, often finds herself fighting for scraps of attention, resorting to social media to keep her name in the conversation. It's a tough spot to be in, and you can sense the frustration in her passive-aggressive tweets and shade-laced interviews. She's auditioning for a starring role in a movie that's already been cast, and the lead is Clark. The numbers game. A deeper dive lets nerd out on the numbers for a minute because they tell a story that's hard to ignore. Clark's won. 3 million viewers for a preseason exhibition game didn't just happen in a vacuum. It's part of a broader trend of her pulling in massive audiences wherever she goes. Last year, her college games at Iowa routinely drew 9 to 10 million viewers, outrating some NBA Finals games. Her WNBA regular season games in 2024 averaged millions more than the league's baseline. And now, she's carrying that momentum into the preseason, turning a throwaway game against a Brazilian team into a ratings bonanza. Compare that to Reese, whose games on networks like ION are struggling to register. We don't have the exact numbers yet. Networks are playing coy, but the lack of buzz suggests they're not exactly setting the world on fire. When Clark plays, the WNBA's Google Trends graph spikes like it just chugged a Red Bull. When Reese plays, the silence is deafening. It's not that Reese isn't talented. It's that her story isn't connecting with the broader audience the way Clark's is. And then there's the context of the game itself. The Fever's blowout win wasn't just about Clark. It was about the atmosphere she created.
Is really back, and so is that CC motion. Look, I know I've said before I don't want to talk about repeats, and this topic isn't really brand new, but it feels...
Playing at Iowa, her home turf, added an emotional layer that resonated with fans. The crowd was electric, the Brazilian team was gracious, and Clark was in her element, dropping 18 points in 20 minutes like it was light work. It was a reminder that Clark isn't just a player. She's a movement, a must-watch moment that transcends the sport. The Angel Reese dilemma. Talent versus narrative. Let's give credit where it's due. Angel Reese is a star in her own right. She was a key part of LSU's national championship team in 2023, a double-double machine who brought swagger and intensity to the court. She's got a knack for getting under opponents' skin and a flair for the dramatic that makes her a polarizing figure. But polarizing doesn't always translate to popular, and right now, Reese is struggling to convert her talent into the kind of cultural capital Clark commands. Part of the issue is narrative. Reese has leaned heavily into the haters gonna hate playbook, positioning herself as the misunderstood underdog who's always been doubted. It's a compelling story, until you realize she's been celebrated for years, from her college days to her WNBA debut. The "nobody believes in me" card starts to lose its punch when you're modeling for fashion brands and dropping boss babe quotes like a walking Pinterest board. Meanwhile, Clark's narrative is simpler and more universal. She's the kid who loves basketball, works hard, and lets her game speak for itself. It's not flashy, but it's authentic, and fans can smell inauthenticity a mile away.
Oh, God. Oh, goodness gracious. More watched than any NBA preseason game since 2018. Nasty. All but 2 NBA.
There's also the question of impact. Clark's game elevates everyone around her. The Fever, the WNBA, even the Brazilian team, who are just happy to be part of the moment. Reese's game, by contrast, often feels like a solo act. She's out there fighting for rebounds and talking trash, but it's not translating into wins or viewership. Her Chicago Sky games are struggling to generate buzz, and her off-court drama, whether it's shading Clark or clapping back at critics, feels more like a distraction than a draw.
WNBA Finals, Game 1, 1.1 million viewers. Caitlin Clark shows up just to play some